It's time for todaysstocks.com with host Pat Bolland.
Joining me now, Joseph Carrabba. He's the president and CEO of Teras Resources. And Joe, I read your CV, if you will. You've got a long history in the mining industry. Walk me through it a little bit.
Well, thanks, Pat. Yeah, I'm a geologist by training with an MBA. I quickly moved out of geology as a young guy and went into operations and project management. I found that much more exciting and fit my character and personality much better. I've been blessed with a career to be able to work around the world with major mining companies in a variety of different minerals, from coal to bauxite, industrial minerals, gold, copper, a little bit of copper that goes with the gold, and diamonds out of the Northwest Territories of Canada with Diavik Diamonds. So I've had a very robust career. I was recruited to be the chairman and CEO of Cleveland Cliffs, a big iron ore and met coal producer, headquartered out of Cleveland, Ohio. We had operations throughout the United States, supplying the steel industry in Canada, and we expanded into Australia and into Brazil in South America as well to be a global supplier of those products along the way. I retired from there in 2014. Was on a number of boards. I was on the Newmont Gold board for 9 years and chaired the Operations, Sustainability, and Safety Committee. Just retired from the Timken Steel board that had my expertise on the supply side, that is the iron ore going into the steel industry. And just tomorrow, I'll be retiring from the Aecon Group, as you know, out of Toronto, a great construction company that works throughout TransCanada and literally around the world as well. So I really stepped down from these boards, Pat. I wanted to really focus on the junior mining world. I think I can add some expertise and some experience there. I think it's fascinating how these small startups, have to start from the very beginning and kind of claw their way through it. It comes with some stress. There's no question about that. But I think there's some amazing upside given the pricing of commodity and the cycle that we're in right now. And certainly with Teras, I see that with the Kahia project.
Okay, then how did you get in touch with Teras Resources and find out about the Kahia project?
The mine industry, as you know, is a pretty small group of people. It's at 2 or 3 degrees of separation. And through a friend in Canada, he suggested I meet Peter Legier, who was the CEO of Teras at the time. I met Peter down in Palm Springs and went down to the Kahia project, which is south of Palm Springs in Imperial County, which is a mining county in California. I know the two don't go together, but there are projects, heap leaches, that are working in Imperial County as well. I was very impressed with the project. I was impressed with Peter and the work that he had done. Then I had met him 6 months later. I was on a road show in Vancouver. We had dinner, and he suggested, why don't you take over as the CEO, which I did. I liked the project. Peter's still on the board, and we work hand in hand every day with that. He's a remarkable guy and the historian of the company as well. And we started to progress it from there, Pat. The data was scattered. It had a 43101 that was old. It had aged. The project's been around since the mid 90s, as you know, with all the majors looking at it. So we spent 10 months on a desktop study with 2 really formidable geologists and kind of put the whole story back together and refreshed it from the property all the way through. And out of that desktop, we refreshed the gold resource from 1.1 million ounces to 1.4 million ounces. And the silver, I think, went from about 11 million ounces to 13 or 14 million ounces of silver, Pat, that came with it, which isn't, if you will, a bad day's work for a desktop study. So we now have a complete database that's up to date, that if folks, and we do have folks come in and look at this project as they always have, but at least we have all the data in one place to have those discussions with those folks, and also to take our strategy forward for the next step if that's where we choose to go.
Well, you talk about the majors that had taken a look at this, and that includes Homestake, Newmont, Kennecott were a few that I read about. And then the work that was done by the Torres Martinez Desert Cailla tribe, if you will.
Right.
But that was 30 years ago. Why has this project never been taken on?
The grade is low, and the ore body is complex. It's not an easy one, if you will, to overcome. But at the same time, back in those days, you have to look at the price of gold and how it languished. There was no incentive for financing. Nobody was excited about gold. It wasn't until gold finally started getting out of the doldrums, that $900 to $1,100 an ounce range, and silver started moving as well with it as a component, that people started getting excited and getting back into the industry once again. And now that we're in this $1,700 to $1,900 range on gold, as it seems to be, and silver continues to climb a little bit every week into that $25, $27 an ounce range, all of a sudden people are coming back for another look. It's becoming a little more economical, a lot more economical, if you will, when they come back to have a look. But we've also got the data in a place that, their geologists, when they come in, their environmental, their financial people can come in and take a strong look at the data that we can now present to them.
Okay, so now what are next steps for the project?
So next steps is for whatever's best for the shareholder. We will keep an open mind. If folks want to come in and have a look at this project, that's fine. How we structure it, again, will be what's most advantageous to our shareholder. But at the same time, you've always got to have another strategy that goes in place, which we do. What's lacking, Pat, in this right now in our next step is we need to get some refreshed metallurgical data on the property that we have. So we've got a plan for a few $1 million. We got to drill some shallow holes, twin them, and then send them off to a reputable lab that we've chosen and gets that refreshed metallurgical data. Once we have that, then you can put a preliminary economic assessment together on this project, and we're off and running, and folks can look at that if we need to go further financing to develop this project, or if people want to look at it, the valuation continues to creep up as we de-risk it.
Joe, we wish you continued success.
Pat, thank you very much, and I appreciate it for all your listeners today. Hopefully this was helpful, and we're always available. Folks want to reach out for more information.
Okay, they shall, I'm sure.
Great.
Joseph Carrabba is the President and CEO of Teras Resources.
Thank you, Pat.